Breaking news in Rhode Island, where police right now are giving an update on the investigation into a deadly shooting at that high school hockey game in Pawtucket last night. Let's listen to what they're saying.
As well as the Pawtucket Athletic Director, Dino, as well as many others. And if I miss any, I'm not going to go through the individual. We have Ron Bopey from the union, but this is where our community comes together in these very difficult times. I just want to recognize and also thank all of the responding organizations for their family at the Family Assistance Service, as well as all of the others, but the Pawtucket EMA and the certain volunteers, the Rhode Island Emergency Management, Providence Emergency Management, Red Cross, Family Service of Rhode Island Medical Service Corps, Tide Family Services, Dorian Ray from the Rhode Island Crime Victims, and really somebody that was so helpful, but our partner was Ripta, who helped us yesterday in the very heart of the issue. So on behalf of the city of Pawtucket, we are deeply overwhelmed from the tremendous outpour of support that we've received across our state, and you see it here, supporting here. Yesterday, our community, but many communities, our state experienced an unthinkable tragedy and at the Dennis M. Lynch Arena. What should have been a joyful gathering of students, parents, athletes, and families and their friends became a moment of really frustrating and turmoil, and it's shaken the community of Pawtucket and the communities of all the representatives that are here in the state, as well as the core hockey community. I know Mayor Lombardi is here, also Mayor De Silva, and their communities were affected. So this is a statewide issue. And today we stand here all together with heavy hearts. We stand with the players, the students, the coaches, the families, the faculty and the staff who have gone through this traumatic, from the staff from the school districts who are dealing with this, and those cooperative and the high school hockey teams. The young men and the young women and the young athletes who took the ice, to the parents and their loved ones. They were in the stands and they witnessed this. And to the educators and supporters who make those programs possible, please know that the city stands behind you, the state stands behind you in your grief and your compassion and your unwavering support. I want to express my deepest gratitude to the first responders from all over the state and out of state, to our mutual partner, aid partners who rushed to assist, from the local communities to the state and federal. The response from the public agencies across the state was immediate, coordinated, and extraordinary, and we really can't thank them enough. In the face of what chaos and danger, they acted with professionalism, courage, and care. Their actions helped protect lives and restore order during the incredibly difficult situation. We also want to recognize the remarkable bravery of the Good Samaritans who stepped in without hesitation, placing themselves in harm's way to stop that shooter. Their courage undoubtedly prevented further loss and injury, and we thank them for that. We are equally grateful for the health professionals who were there, present at the game, and rendered aid to the victims. Their skill, composure, and selflessness represents the very best of humanity, and they are true heroes. While this incident was deeply affected the city, we must acknowledge the difficult realities. This tragedy is part of a broader national crisis of gun violence and stark reminder of devastating consequences of domestic violence. We also understand the events like this can be deeply triggering, particularly for the survivors and the families impacted by violence. If you are struggling, please seek the help and support you need, and the governor will be talking a little bit about that. We recognize that the emotional impact of
You are listening right now to police in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, give an update on the shooting that happened at a high school hockey game at the Dennis Lynch Arena yesterday. We are waiting to hear more about a motive behind this shooting and more about who the believed suspects are. We are getting reports of a name of who the shooter was, and this was a domestic violence incident, is what the authorities are saying so far. Many layers are being reported about this shooting. We're going to listen to officials and get back to you with more on the details.